Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Rhiannon, and this is where I talk about what I'm knitting and also other crafts that I get up to and other stuff. So this video is really my way of introducing you to myself and to what I intend to share on this podcast. I'll tell you a little bit about me. So I'm 40 years old. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm married and I have a cat. I do not have kids. That is a choice that we've made. And I'm a transplant to Milwaukee. So I was born in California and also have lived in Oregon. So I am a proud Chicana and member of the LGBTQIA+ community. I'm politically left-leaning and I have a lot of opinions. But I try to be welcoming and inclusive to everyone unless they're here to make the space unwelcoming for other people. Not about that. I've been knitting since about 2015, so less than 10 years. I am a knitting instructor part-time, very part-time, so I will usually teach about one class per quarter at my local yarn store, which for me is Cream City Yarn in Brookfield, Wisconsin. I have also been sewing for a few years and quilting, so I do primarily, I would say, other than knitting, quilt and sew. I do a lot of other crafts though. I really just love making things with my hands, and I love hobbies that engage my whole mind and body with, you know, muscle memory and things like that, that have like a really long learning trajectory. And I love the feeling of getting something useful after, you know, spending hours on your hobby. Like, for example, knitting a sweater, you get a useful object out of it. Okay, so this channel is, as you guessed, about crafts. I will probably be sharing all kinds of crafts on here. I might do some home improvement and DIY stuff because I do that stuff in my life. I just haven't really shared it on this channel before. Another thing is that this, for me, this channel is really about self-affirmation, body positivity, identity, connection. I do share a lot about what I'm reading because I read a lot. Since I discovered audiobooks, I read especially a lot more nonfiction, whereas traditionally I've always been more of a fiction person. But when I share about my reading, it's really for me about a thoughtful engagement with media and culture. So I will often discuss what I'm reading and how I'm reacting to it rather than give you a plot summary of a book. So this is not a professional podcast, and I came up with a list of pros and cons that I want to share to help you understand what I mean by that. So on the con side, you have that often the technology, so lighting and the audio is not perfect, right? On the pro side, this is a very organic product, right? So some people are really into that organic thing, that sort of, you know, the DIY aesthetic of YouTube, I guess. And some people really only want to hear like studio production value podcasts. So I totally understand if you're in that latter camp and the, you know, things like background noise are going to just be too much for you. Like, this probably isn't the space for you, and that's okay. And I would say, you know, if you're somewhere in the middle, but like bad audio and bad lighting really bother you, don't watch anything I made before 2022, because I was really just figuring it out, having zero video production experience or background. So the quality of those videos, I'm the first to admit, is very poor in many cases. Another sort of con that is also a pro, I guess, depending on how you look at it, is I'm not knitting for the algorithm. So if you want to watch videos where people talk about the latest yarn releases or the latest patterns, or, you know, they're knitting the trends, like, this isn't going to be the space for you. But on the flip side, if you don't like that stuff and you want to see someone who's just knitting for their own joy and pleasure and, you know, their personal style and thoughtfully thinking about how their wardrobe needs to be filled in, like, this is what I'm going to be doing. I do not knit in order to make people think I'm cool because whatever. Okay, the final sort of pros, cons, I guess, is that in the cons column, I have that, you know, my posts are going to be on an inconsistent schedule, and the duration of the videos will be inconsistent. If I was a professional content creator, I'd be doing a ton of data analysis and figuring out that, you know, For example, people want a 20-minute video on a Tuesday morning or whatever, but I do not have the energy or desire to deal with that. So I'm just gonna post when I actually have something to share. So the con, that's the con, but also the pro is that I will have something to share when I put a video up. I'm not gonna try to stretch content out as thin as possible just to like make my weekly posting goal or whatever. And if my videos run a little long, it's because I have more to share. And I would just remind you that you're not obligated to watch anything from start to finish in one sitting. I don't watch YouTube videos that way. I don't know many people who do, so there you go. In conclusion, only you can decide if this channel is for you, but thank you for watching this intro video. I really hope it gave you a sense of what I'm all about and what you can expect from this channel. I do strive to keep this space positive, inclusive, and thoughtful, and to balance those three things, as I know that there's a lot of different types of content out there, and there's a lot of content consumers out there. So I just appreciate every single one of you that's watching these videos, and if you're not into it, that's okay. If you are, then please subscribe, and if you know somebody who would be into this, please share this with them. With all that said, thank you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.